Why do you need a residence permit? For instance, in Turkey. A residence permit is a document that permits you to legally stay in the country. In Turkey, you can do without it for a long time, but the country is too attractive. So many people want to live here longer. And if you possess a residence permit, then there are advantages in comparison to regular tourists and illegal immigrants. About these advantages, not always obvious, but which allow you to live almost on par with Turkish citizens and without any fraud, we talk about in our video.
In Turkey, individuals who provide authorities with specific documents can support themselves and do not pose a threat can obtain a residence permit. There are no additional or particularly complex conditions. The real estate agency Tolerance Homes helps its clients prepare documents and go through the entire procedure. It appears that the sole agency that offers this lawyer at no cost. View the video at this link displayed on the screen to observe how it occurs. And about what types of residence permits exist in Turkey, you can see in another of our videos at this link, or read it in the article on the website. Find a link to the article in the description. The easiest and most reliable way to get a residence permit now is to buy real estate in open areas. Other options: residence permit for medical treatment, studying, family reunification, and more. Available for specific purposes. All this is detailed in our videos. A huge plus of a residence permit in Turkey is that it can be issued not only to you, but also to your spouse and children, in some cases even to adult children. And here are the opportunities and advantages that come with having a residence permit. If you have Turkish residence permits obtained on the basis of real estate purchase, or if you live in Turkey on a work visa, then after 5 years you can apply for Turkish citizenship. You only need to live here almost continuously. Departures from Turkey are permitted for up to 6 months per year and up to 1 year in total over the past 5 years. But it must be understood that obtaining a passport through this route is only a legal right, but the authorities do not provide guarantees. A guaranteed and much quicker way to acquire citizenship is through what are known as investments in the economy of the country. Under this, among other things, it also means purchasing property for a set price. Read more in the articles by following the links in the description or watch via the link on the screen.
Separately, let's talk about trips abroad, about which there is a lot of confusion in chats and forums. In world travels, Turkish residence permit, unlike citizenship, does not provide any special advantages. You can return to Turkey with a residence permit as often as you wish without any issues. This can be especially valuable in unexpected situations. During the pandemic, entry into Turkey was essentially closed to foreigners, except for those with a residence permit. Who knows what can occur in life? Having an additional chance is always advantageous. However, there is no costless admission into the Schengen zone with a residency permit in Turkey. Oddly, it's impossible to enter Northern Cyprus with a Turkish residence permit, despite its full name being the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, and you can have Turkish citizenship. If you are still waiting for your turn to get a residence permit, and your visa-free days have already ended, you cannot leave Turkey, otherwise you will definitely not get your cards. When you have already been approved for a residence permit but have not yet received the card, you can leave Turkey, but only for a period of up to 15 days and with mandatory notification to the immigration service about the upcoming trip. But when you already have a residence permit, traveling becomes easy and effortless. Good thing, this residence permit.
Individuals holding Turkish residence permits have the ability to utilize local clinics and so-called family medicine doctors on an equal basis as the citizens of the country. The phrase "on a par with Turkish citizens" refers to being either free of charge through insurance or receiving significant discounts. Non-residents pay 3 to 5 times more. You can arrange state medical insurance with AGK in second year of life in Turkey with residence permit. Normally, the policy is issued for the head of the family, but both the spouse and minor children are able to make use of it. This policy covers most of the expenses, not only in state, but also in private clinics. Everyone who has been to a Turkish hospital knows that the clinics here are well equipped. Even in small branches, far from major cities, it is not difficult to find an MRI, ultrasound, or other complex diagnostic equipment. Medical insurance in Turkey covers not only cost of services, but also medicines. Doctor at clinic writes prescription, and prescription immediately registered in electronic system. You are given small piece of paper, and you take it to any pharmacy. And you're surprised how much cheaper they sell you prescribed meds. Do you know how foreigners value individual branches of medicine in Turkey? People come here specifically from other countries. For external fertilizations, replacement operations, joints, dental prosthetics, do something adorable with it. plastic surgeons, hair transplant, and similar procedures. Service prices vary in Turkey to be 3, 4, 5 times lower than the European average. Arrivals receive the sea, sun, and all the beauties of the country as a bonus. This is called medical tourism. Our experts also know quite a lot about him.
Residence permit is simply necessary if you plan to enroll your child in a Turkish school, and it doesn't have to be a state one. Private educational institutions also need this document. The same rule applies to preschool education as well. Those without a residence permit must organize their children's education and leisure themselves. But here's the good news. To enroll a child, no need for residence permit based on property ownership. Tourist permit based on renting is suitable for residents too. By the way, we created a video on organizing online learning for your child while you're in Turkey and about children's leisure activities. You can watch it on the screen at this link. Children of foreigners can study in schools, colleges, lyceums, and universities. They can receive higher education for free through the grant system Turkey Scholars or by passing a special exam, YOZ. More on higher education in Turkey. Read article on tolerance site. Link in description.
Turkish museums with their rich collections of antiquities can help to gain additional knowledge and broaden horizons. People with residence permit can visit state museums almost for free. To do this, you must purchase a special museum card. It's just a couple of dollars. Any one-time visit will cost more, so the museum card for residence permit holders pays for itself from the very first visit. And you can visit state museums with her all year round.
But working in Turkey does not give the right to Eng. Moreover, foreigners face a large fine, deportation, and a ban on entry for several years for violating this rule. No one bans remote work for a company from another country. Hence, many freelancers in Turkey, people who earn money online in IT, finance, media, management, etc. But it is much easier to obtain a work visa in Turkey, with which you can officially work if you already have a residence permit. Only in this case, you do not need to leave the country to apply for a work visa, and your future employer will be able to prepare and submit documents much faster. Verified it? On you. Process took less than a month. Work visa sent to Tolerance Company Office. Without a residence permit, you're either a tourist or an illegal immigrant. No cars for you, except the expensive rented one. After getting a residence permit, a foreigner can drive their own car with foreign license plates for a period of 2 years. The car cannot be here for any extra day beyond this deadline. Selling it in Turkey will be a problem. Customs clearance is costly, thus after 2 years a regular car is exported to the home country. If you have a residence permit, you can buy a car in Turkey. I know it's expensive, but it's convenient. Many of our compatriots who live in Turkey constantly buy cars. Tolerance Home will even be able to help its client with this so that he is not deceived. But without a residence permit or citizenship, you cannot buy a car in Turkey. What about driver's license?
Foreign driver's licenses are valid in Turkey for 6 months. After that, you can leave and re-enter Turkey. Then the term will reset. You can repeat this process multiple times. Without a residence permit, no one will allow your return to Turkey. Exchange foreign driving license for Turkish one if you have residence permit. No difficulty if you have residence permit, can exchange easily. You need to contact the Registration and Transport Office, show your driver's license and residence permit card, write an application and pay the state fee. Then you will have to wait until the government agency in your homeland responds to the Turkish request. And then you will be invited to the office again. They will take the old card and send it to your country, and you will be issued a new Turkish one.
Finally, a few regulations for owners of foreign vehicles in Turkey. Nobody is allowed to operate the vehicle except for the owner, and the closest family, even in the presence of the owner. Powers of attorney are not valid in Turkey. Right after getting a residence permit, you must go to customs. Present the car documents, and they'll stamp the allowed stay period for the car in the country. If you depart from Turkey during this period, you must notify customs authorities. Where will the car be parked at this time? Otherwise there will be a large fine. While you are not here, no one can drive the car at all. If you leave Turkey by car, then you can only re-enter it back after a period of 185 days, and the owner of the car should not be present in Turkey during this time. Details about everything related to cars of foreigners in Turkey, gas stations, services, insurance, auto parts, we are preparing a separate video. Get updates on the channel. Residence permit in Turkey will open for you earlier. The doors of multiple Turkish banks are tightly closed. Most banks refuse to open accounts for foreigners without a residence permit. Legally, there are no restrictions, but everyone has them. The bank has its own views on profit and risk management. To open an account with the residence permit card, a Turkish tax number is needed. Get it on the tax website in 3 minutes. You will also need a registered address or a paid bill for communal apt with your name. To open an account at a bank, a deposit may be required. The bank sets the amount and term itself. In general, more info about opening an account in a Turkish bank in a special video. Check the link on the screen. By the way, Open an Act at Tolerance Bank also assists its customers. On this link you will find ours. Video in general about banks and the banking system of Turkey. And here are loans for foreigners in Turkish. Banks are a separate and sensitive subject matter. For example, getting a credit card is sometimes even more difficult than getting a mortgage. Usually a credit card, not a debit card. All you need is to hire a car and reserve hotels. Therefore, to obtain a credit card, certain banks may demand an initial deposit of an amount equivalent to 150% of the credit limit. But banks give you money. Utilize your personal funds with an interest rate. Turkey. But without a residence permit, a foreigner has no chance of getting a credit card at all. Foreigners can get installment payments directly from the developer to buy real estate. Most developers offer installment payments until the house is completed. In operation, although some are willing to wait even longer. The initial payment is usually 30–50%. On the website of Tolerance Agency, you'll find many suitable offers for obtaining a residence permit in all parameters.
Individuals residing in Turkey for a period exceeding 6 months are considered tax residents of the country. Tax residents are obligated to pay taxes on their global income, whereas non-residents are only taxed on income earned within Turkey. The tax rate is progressive, with a minimum of 15%, and for extremely wealthy individuals it can reach up to 40%. Enlightened people know about the agreements on the avoidance of double taxation that Turkey has concluded with more than 100 countries in the world. These agreements allow for a significant reduction in tax on foreign income. Tax residents of Turkey also pay taxes on inheritance and gifts if the property is received from a Turkish citizen. The location of the assets is not important. The resident also has the responsibility to make payment for the transport tax. Everything, just like real citizens. Paradise has its price. Turkish residence permit offers opportunities for foreigners, though even in the longest video it is impossible to list all the benefits of having this document. Owners of Turkish residence permits can only envy. Write in the comments what advantages of Turkish residence permit we missed, and subscribe to the channel. To find your place in the sun and get a residence permit, Tolerance Homes Agency can assist. Vast database of properties at the best prices on their website. Check it out. Questions welcome in comments and at phone. We'll be glad to answer. Our experts know and discuss what others don't know or discuss.